Hello and welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I'm one of the students. My name's Devon.
I'm the other student, Morgan.
And I'm the teacher, Dan. We lost last week's files. And, well, I lost last week's files. And I'm gonna have to just do that over again.
Yeah.
To the best of our memory.
It happens.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Craig be like that.
Full disclosure, I don't believe any of us, rewatched the episodes we were talking about, and I am personally going off of my notes and just flipping through the thing on YouTube.
Yeah, honestly, though, so it was The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and, they're pretty short.
Yeah.
So, it's honestly something that, I would almost say is, worth watching, just because, especially because it's a show where, I constantly say it's, hard to explain physical gags in it.
Are these episodes worth...
I know the first
episode... Are these episodes worth watching, though?
These are some weird episodes. Well, one of them's weird. One of them's less weird, but it has some moments.
Well, the first one we saw was the weird one. Because that was the one where Tails gets big.
Tails terrorizes a town for a few hours.
Yeah.
Tails expansion.
Episode 15, Too Tall Tales.
He does have two of them, and he is
very tall.
Does this start off with the, dude who's, chained up?
Yeah.
This starts off with,
go.
the scientist dude. He's captured by Dr. Eggman. I don't know the scientist's name, I'm sorry. But he's, tied to a tree, and Eggman's trying to get him to tell him how to make, a growth ray.
Yeah. Yeah, and he gets his fucking foot tickled.
He won't tell
as a
Eggman,
torture
Eggman
technique.
Says the line that no one can resist the agony of defeat, and then just tickles the dude's feet.
Yeah.
He also gets his ass whipped. Just so you remember. I'm glad I remember all the worst parts of this
episode's unimaginably
episode.
Horny, and it sears itself into your brain.
It's one of those things where it's I feel like animators are unbelievably horny for some reason. Especially at this period. They just keep their kinks are just leaking into their ideas, and I don't know why. Control yourself, please.
It reminds me, there was this article I read a while back about quicksand and quicksand fetishes and the frequency in which they appeared initially in old movies and then in cartoons.
No, my...
And it really does. One leads to another.
Yeah, my roommate and I were watching some old Tom and Jerry the other day, and we're a lot of the gags in this feel like they would be horny, except they're not, and I think people just saw them on TV and grew a fetish for them, and they're like, what if I put that in my own cartoon? And then made it horny.
At least it's not Totally Spies, where I feel like every episode is horny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Totally Spies is awful.
Yeah. And this show is, like many shows, features a lot of gags that would eventually become the basis of people's fetishes.
Yes. including the
Yeah.
main conceit of the episode.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
so, the dude eventually does get tickled into, like, telling... I forget his name.
Professor von Schlemmer. He's a recurrent... Yeah, he's going to be a recurring character. He looks like a sort of... He looks like some sort of, like, zombie scientist, almost like if Frankenstein was both the scientist and the monster.
He's got, like, the hair that I feel like I've seen Frankenstein's bride have, though.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
He looks like in any other cartoon he'd be the evil one, but because Robotnik is here, he's good.
He does kind of look like a Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tells them, like, you know, you have to plug in a certain thing, and they fix the machine, and they're gonna get it to work, I guess.
Yeah. And Robotnik has Schlemmer airlifted to the darkest, deepest part of the jungle of doom. Let's see.
Is this when it cuts to Sonic and Tails?
Yeah. We cut to Sonic and Tails getting chased by coconuts. There's a bit where Sonic says, "Eat our dust," and Tails says, "I'm so hungry, I could eat a dust." The delivery feels odd, and I don't know if it's really that weird, or if it's just my brain filling things in because I've seen so many YouTube poops, including this line where it would be replaced with, like, "I could eat an Octorok."
I thought it was, "I could eat our dust," like, kind of as a response to, like, "Oh, I'm so hungry, I could eat our dust." I mean, I guess the emphasis isn't on the I, though, where it should be.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like they wanted to go with a different phrase, but then
Yeah.
decided last minute not to, and just kept it in.
Sonic is able to overcome coconuts by creating this geyser, and then he builds some walls that coconuts can run into. He's digging Minecraft style. He's building brown bricks.
He eventually builds, like, a metal wall. Like, it's, like, brown bricks,
Yeah.
other bricks, metal wall. Also, the geysers, like, he's like, "There's a gusher."
Yeah. He does call it that.
Yeah.
But they're able to stop coconuts, and then they show up at a town called Wienerville.
Everyone's wieners.
Yeah, it's the wiener capital of Mobius, and everyone is literally a hot dog.
Oh god, and they also make hot dogs, like,
Yeah.
which has some frigid logic to it, where it's like, where do they get the meat? Oh no. And I think in the last episode we thought maybe they, like, recycled their old people into hot dogs.
Yeah, their elderly become the food for tomorrow.
I think they make themselves as well as... I think they make people hot dogs and eating hot dogs.
That must be a weird factory job to be like, I create your kid, but also your food.
They get spotted by the mayor. He's like Mayor Nookwurst or something like that. He's got a German accent because he's a hot dog.
He's a worst. And there's also a woman. When does she show up? Woman hot
I
dog.
think right after this.
It's when Tails says he's very hungry.
They talk about how they haven't eaten much in the last few days, and just Mayor Nookwurst is like, "Oh, good. We'll feed you." And we get a scene. We cut to Sonic and Tails at this sort of diner place where this lady hot dog, who's like sort of a like classic Americana waitress lady who also is a hot dog, shows up.
And she has a
got an
tomato
accent
in her hair. Like a flower.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this. I think I wrote it down. And yeah. She gives them like a bunch of different wieners, and doesn't Tails eat them all?
Yeah. Tails is just going through these things.
Tails is going hamburger.
Yeah.
I guess ham is food already. Whatever.
Yeah. I was looking at this, and I remembered this before, and I'm checking to confirm. When she says one of the things is corn dogs, and among the dishes is just, like, hot dogs served with, like, corn on the cob.
Boo! That's not a corn dog. Also, is a corn dog a hot dog?
I would count it as that. It's got the hot dog sausage in there.
But it, like, tastes different. Like, it's a different meal to me.
Yeah, you eat it completely
like
differently.
It's a relative, but I think it's different.
Okay. Yeah, worth considering, yeah.
Anyways, Tails has eaten all the food in this town.
Tail eats all of the hot dogs. We cut back to Dr. Robotnik and Scratch and Grounder, who get the machine working, and we learn that... And they test it out. Robotnik's like, I need something very small. And Scratch says, how about Grounder's brain? Haha.
He uses Grounder's belly button lint instead, because he just suddenly has a belly button.
Yeah. He has a belly button, and he has belly button lint.
Grinder.
Robotnik, like, pulls it out of there.
Grounder was born?
We know how Grounder was born. We saw him being born.
Grinder had an umbilical cord.
Yeah, actually worth bringing up again, since that was a while back, but Robotnik built Scratch and Grounder, but Robotnik, like, tried to find all of the awful things he could, just a bunch of garbage, and also bad stuff, and also educational books, put them into a machine, and Scratch came out. And then he tried to, like, make a second Scratch, but Scratch, like, hit a switch that he wasn't supposed to, and instead Grounder came out.
Whoops.
It's, something.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Robotnik tests out the belly button lint with the machine. The machine is, like, able to, like, spray a sort of, like, I guess an aerosol gas that makes things big. They, like, mess around with it, try to set it to full power, but it's unsuccessful, and it explodes. Tails finishes his Goku-sized meal. And he's like, I'm gonna get dessert. Where's an ice cream place? And they point it to him. He goes there. Then the mysterious orange cloud floats in Tails' direction. Tails becomes macro, and he hates it.
God. He's still hungry, too, and I sympathize with him because I haven't eaten dinner yet, like a doofus.
Alright. He's, like, really hungry. He decides to eat an entire ice cream store.
Yeah, everyone runs out of it.
Yeah.
And he just bottoms up, like, tips it all into his mouth.
Yeah, not just, like, the ice cream in the store, though. He eats the store itself. Like, Tails is destroying this town.
Tails gets so hungry that he loses control and rampages through the town. He's, like, constantly saying, I'm sorry, I'm hungry, I can't control myself. And then he eats stuff.
It's like, dude, chill. Like, you have some willpower. Like, I get it. I don't have the greatest willpower either, but, like, I can at least not terrorize people when I'm hungry.
I wouldn't pull a fat mama and just eat someone's food as I'm walking by.
Oh my god.
I'm slightly hungry, so I think I'll just, like, break into someone's house and eat all their food. I'm sorry.
You might
I
hear
can't control
some
myself.
eating noises in my recording that I tried to hide.
Okay.
But
it's ASMR.
I'm sure.
For the Tales is
I'm
Hungry
sure
hour.
our listeners will love that. All them misinformic people. Anyway, doesn't Tails eat some trees?
Yeah, Tails is eating trees on the outskirts of town, and all the townspeople are mad at Tails for, destroying their livelihoods. And Sonic is like, well, it's not his fault. He's just hungry.
You're not yourself when you're hungry. And then you shoot a fucking Snickers bar into his mouth.
Snack rolling the Mojave wishes Kara Makel you saddest wish for a nuclear wunger.
I'm sorry, what?
Some years back, when Snickers had that whole thing where you could put things into its website and it would make snack versions.
I forgot about that. Someone posted that recently, like in a different Discord. I just totally forgot. I was like, what the fuck, Dan?
Yeah. Someone... Okay, I'm rereading it. I got it slightly wrong. But someone used that thing to make their own... Oh shit, let me mute my phone. Let me start again. So... Someone used that website to make their own thing, which was... Snack rolling the Mojave-licious Phil Most Carol Makel you saddest wish for a nuclear wunger.
Love a nuclear wunger.
I
I think Tails has a nuclear wunger. I think that's what's going on. Enormous, destructive, hungry man. The mayor gets, like, pissed and stuff, right? And
yeah, Tails, like, knocks over the big Wienerville sign, and the mayor's mad because he likes that sign, I guess.
No, he almost gets squashed.
Oh, right.
And, Sonic saves him or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember now. When it does it, it's, just before a cut to commercial.
Yeah. He's like, Tails is destroying my town! But in a German accent. I just can't do a German accent.
Yeah, so... The townsfolk are upset at Tails. Tails starts eating trees.
Yes.
Robotnik decides to take advantages of this, and he shows up announcing that this is a scheme by Sonic to destroy Wienerville. They're like, what are you talking about? Sonic's like a national hero, and you're like the national villain.
Yeah.
But Robotnik, being Robotnik, lies about being reformed and offers a bunch of material gifts to dissuade the citizens of Wienerville.
Time to win them over with capitalism.
Yeah. It apparently works, because now everyone is on Robotnik's side.
Robotnik says, vote for me. Sorry.
I wouldn't say that the show wouldn't do an episode about Robotnik running for president. I am thinking about Robotnik running for president.
What if Robotnik ran for president?
Yeah.
Funny orange-haired man in the office.
Yeah.
Funny orange man in the
his
office.
opinions on climate change.
Yeah.
I'll just take the evil I know instead of the evil I don't know. He's got my vote.
Would Robotnik run as his own party, or would he be Democrat or Republican?
I think he'd be his own party. There's no way he would, like, run as anything but his own, like, dumbass named party. Or, like, it'd just be, like, a Robotnik party. I don't know. Or he's like, this is the evil party! The anti-Sonic party!
I think... yeah.
The Green Party!
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't he have his own city?
He has... I don't know if this one has it, but, like, a lot of...
Okay.
But in some continuities, he does have, like, his own city called Robotropolis, and, like, there have been many times where Robotnik, like, has some big base in, like, a game or something. I think in Sonic Riders, he has, like, a Megacorp. There's also references to him having a company in Boom. Yeah, Robotnik's a grade A capitalist.
Okay, so he's gonna run in 2024 then. That's my prediction for the future.
So what I'm hearing is Robotnik's libertarian.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he wins them over with gifts, though, and they, like... There was, like, a funny picture of Sonic just standing in the background, like...
Oh, yeah! Like, when they run past him, he's just, like... They just made it a background image so they can animate over it.
Yeah.
He's just has, like, this sort of blank expression.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so... Tails eats some crops. He eats a cart full of melons. There's an earthquake from... Yeah. There's an earthquake from Tails walking around because he's so big. Everyone hates Tails.
Is that the sequel to Everyone Hates Chris?
Yeah.
So...
let's see.
Is this when Sonic goes to find the guy in the forest?
Yeah, this is where...
Yeah, like...
Robotnik just kind of is like...
Robotnik, like, leaves... He, like, leaves to get a weapon from his lair.
Yeah.
So Sonic eavesdrops on Scratch and Grounder. He, like, gets information out of them by disguising himself as a bodybuilding coach, and it's sort of like a Miss America thing, almost.
I forgot about this. I completely forgot that, like, yeah, he does this disguising thing, and they, like, both win, apparently, and both get trophies. Oh, they also flex so hard that they, like, fizzle and electrocute. Like, they get, like...
They flex so hard that they, like, start to
flex.
sweat, and the sweat shorts them out.
Let's see... Sonic, like, asks them some questions. Like, he starts with, how do you deal with pollution? How do you solve world peace? And, like, they don't know. They're stupid. So, then he asks, where is Professor von Schlemmer hidden? And they immediately answer, which is in the bottomless pit in the middle of the jungle of Doom. So, Sonic gives them, like, some trophies and some nickels as prize money.
And a car.
And he gives... Yeah, a luxury car, but it's missing the steering wheel, so they just go off.
They just die.
They just lose control while driving it.
Want me to make me lose control. Good thing they can just fall apart. Like, they've proven in this show that the robots can just fucking fall to pieces, and they're fine.
Yeah.
I like when, getting hurt matters sometimes in the shows, but not always. Because in the second episode, Tails gets hurt.
So, Sonic, goes off to find von Schlemmer, and he immediately finds him. Von Schlemmer's on a ledge. He's doing some crosswords. There's like a gag about him doing crosswords and needing an answer for the crosswords. Sonic gives it to him, and then Sonic helps him. He reels him out with a crane. He gets out. He comedy rips his pants.
And I ripped my pants.
Schlemmer tells Sonic that the antidote is the fragrance of the Hoot and Toot garlic, located in the garden of the evil lizard wizard.
I love this evil lizard.
Yeah.
Lizard, whatever. He's great. He just sleeps the whole time, but there's traps.
He's like this big cartoon dragon wearing like a wizard hat. It's great to see. I love to see it.
You do love to see it.
I love how they present this as a problem Sonic will have to get through. He just kind of runs in and out.
He deals with this with no problem. The closest thing to a problem is there are booby traps in the garden, so he has to go around those. But he's Sonic; he can handle it. He gets the garlic. He goes back to Wienerville, and at the same time, Dr. Robotnik shows up, and he's going to shoot Tails with a big freeze ray. Sonic asks Schlemmer if he can build something to get the garlic into Tails' mouth. Schlemmer says he can, but it'll take 15 months. Sonic is fast. He does it in 15 seconds.
Yeah, he gets his schematics and just makes a giant wiener launcher thing.
Yeah. It's this giant wiener device. He throws the garlic on it, and it's sort of a race see if who can fire first, Robotnik or Sonic.
It's like a rocket ship wiener. And they fire first because they land the wiener in in Tails' mouth, and he shrinks just as the freeze ray blasts at him.
Yeah. As he shrinks down, causing the freeze ray to miss, it ricochets and hits Robotnik and his boys. In several points in my notes, I have the phrase Robotnik and his boys written down.
Da boys.
Da boys.
Da boys.
Da boys.
Dat
boy, what up? Yeah, I think von Schlemmer, tells the wiener people, the lady and the mayor, what happens off screen while all that's happening. Because they're oh my gosh, we're sorry. We didn't know, Sonic.
Yeah. And it turns out after all that, Tails is still hungry.
Still funny hungry. The end. I'll be back in a second. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm back.
Alright. There's just a Sonic Says where Tails eats ice cream for lunch, but Sonic says, eat everything in the food pyramid, all of it, at once. That's it for that episode.
Okay. Sorry. I would have waited till after the Sonic Says, but...
Alright, it's cool. So, next is episode 16, Tails' New Home.
Tails gets adopted. Does it open with Tails getting chased?
Yeah. It opens with him getting chased by Grounder. Tails gets caught by this cartoon grappling hook, but Sonic's able to save him.
His hands on the end of it. It grapples with their hands.
Yeah.
Oh, and this has the weird gag of Sonic being on an airplane.
Yeah. Sonic jumps onto Grounder, who's turned himself into a jet and is chasing after Tails. Sonic makes a gag about eating airline food.
What's up
He
with
demands
that?
like a good in-flight movie, and Grounder's like, I'm not a plane. He's like, oh, whoops. And then just crashes him into a building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have found myself thinking about this is exactly how Sonic Adventure 2 opens in the hero story.
Sonic crashes Grounder into a...
He like breaks out of a plane and he's like, he's like, no in-flight movie, I'm out of here.
Oh my god. Someone edit that together, like him saying no in-flight movie and then jumping out of the Adventure 2 plane.
I feel like someone had to do that in a YouTube poop. It's just gotta be somewhere.
Yeah.
Um
And then Grounder is falling apart, and Sonic makes funny quip about breaking up is hard to do. But Tails is still being reeled in by the funny hook thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic gets him out of there.
Yeah, he cuts the line, which sends Scratch flying into a tree. The same tree Tails is standing on, though, which means, like, Tails falls off the tree and hurts himself. After that, Sonic apparently has a bit of a freak out, and he's like, alright, that's enough, that's it, I'm done. You're getting adopted.
Yeah, Tails get adopted. Mm-hmm. So, that makes it sound so sad. I know it's kind of like a kid it's probably like a kid put up for adoption, but I'm just thinking now of like Neopets adoption for some reason. Like the adoption agency. Get a Tails out of the pound. Get a two-tailed loop out of the pound. Anyway, I know too much about Neopets. Is this... He's just, like, funny in a cast, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm describing everything, like, funny as an adjective. Funny Tails get a cast.
It's that noise space mood.
It's that noise space mood.
Yeah, so...
The first one.
Yeah, the first set of parents are these two chickens who are just
the steamed ham spit.
Cartoonishly and overwhelmingly clumsy.
Accident prone, yeah.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Like, as they're, like, talking, they, like, set the kitchen on fire. They nearly kill a fish. They flood they flood their entire home. Because one of them left the shower on. And, like, right as they, like, Sonic and Tails leave, like, they're talking about, hey, you remember last time it flooded? Didn't the house explode? And then the house explodes.
Yeah, it's like, didn't they, like, describe it, like, didn't the house, like, electrical wire get wet and then exploded, and then it, yeah. Then they're like, okay, well, not that family, I guess.
They try to find the home. They find the home of Sergeant Doberman, a retired soldier and one of Mobius's greatest heroes.
Sonic says, love our troops.
Sonic says, support the troops.
Sonic says the troops are good when they're good.
Except maybe he's learning a lesson in this episode.
Yeah, he does learn a lesson in this. Because, like, when Sonic and Tails show up to Doberman starts, like, giving orders to Sonic and Tails like they're new recruits. And, like, making them do push-ups and, laps and stuff.
And he makes Tails like salute, and a fucking American flag shows up on his tail, and it's a funny gag, but like it just makes me think of like, is there Mobius America?
Can we agree that Mobius is like the 51st state?
Okay.
It's just Nebraska too.
Nebraska, but we liked it so much we did it again.
The Sonic Bible didn't say it, but there's actually a little 2 next to it. Nebraska 2! And then, what? They just kept, like, running while he was giving orders, and then they almost get blown up?
Yeah, Sonic's like, I hear his wife is nice, though. And then they get, like, there's, like, explosions going off, and Sergeant Doberman clarifies that that's his wife, who he got to run the artillery range. So they're just getting artillery shells fired at them.
By a woman without glasses.
Yeah, he's like, should have given her glasses.
Very normal. But they actually run away when his back is turned.
Yeah. Yeah, they leave. They need to find a decent family. And Scratch and Grounder were spying on them, apparently, and they figure out a plan, which is... They come up with a plan, presumably with Robotnik's help, I don't know. They like, take control of a mechanical billboard, and, like, with, like, a mouth on it. Like, you talk into it through the microphone, and the billboard talks.
Oh, yeah.
And they put a picture of baby Tails on it. And that his real parents are out there looking for him. Sonic and Tails find it. They learn about this. They get an address. And Tails is really excited about this, so they go and meet Tails' fake parents. They're like...
It's, like, very obvious that they're, like, fake, because it's like, oh, there's, like, stuff, they're, like, sewn up.
Yeah, they've got, like, stuffed animal heads.
Yeah.
But...
they're,
like, very... Oh, you go.
I was just gonna say, but neither Tails or Sonic realize.
Yeah. They're really nice to Tails. They're, like, really nice to him. They're, like, promising, like, all of these nice things.
Extra dessert and stuff.
And then Tails' fake dad is like, Tails should be with his own kind.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Does a funny racism.
Yeah, Tails' dad does a microaggression. Yeah.
A funny Sonic racism.
Yeah, and Sonic feels very alone now, but he wants Tails to be safe and happy. So he leaves with the promise that they're going to take Tails to the home in the mountains.
These assholes have 2 houses? Jeez.
Don't worry, Sonic.
Yeah, they're putting him out to pasture.
Well, he'll be able to be with all.
When you were at summer camp.
He'll be with all sorts of other Tails like him. Robotnik and his boys are watching this, and like Robotnik's like making a face that I immediately recognized from like YouTube poops. After Sonic leaves, the robots that were pretending to be Tails' parents take off their disguises. They're like ant robots. I like their design.
I like their design a lot too. They almost like don't fit in the show, but I like it. question, and like you can cut this, but was the promotion thing in a different episode we watched, or was that in this?
No,
one?
it's actually right up next because Robotnik's like, this is perfect. Tails is ours. Sonic is none the wiser. I'm going to give myself a promotion. And then the word promotion appears above his head. And then he grabs the fucking word and then he puts it on his chest where it becomes a medal for himself.
He like squishes the word down and then puts it there. And looking back, and I didn't realize this last time, but wasn't this Scratch and Grounder's idea?
Yeah, I think so.
Anyways, they like eventually go to they eventually go to the fake Tails home in person, don't they?
Yeah. Let's see. The next thing I have written down is just like Sonic by himself missing Tails. He thinks he did the right thing though, and he recalls how they met. And this whole like flashback is all in black and white, so you know it's in the past.
And because Tails is a baby.
Yeah, Tails is a baby. Has like a bonnet, talks different. Tails is like, he finds Tails like trying to make this family of birds his new family. And when I say family of birds, I mean like regular birds.
They're in a nest. So, he thinks he's a bird because he can fly.
Yeah.
Tails.
At first,
Sonic's like, you can't fly, and then Tails is like, yeah, I can, fuck you.
Yeah. Sonic initially just like leaves Tails, but then Tails starts to follow him. So Sonic just accepts Tails and lets him join his party.
Yeah.
Sonic is like Tails' older brother. It's at this point he actually gives his name, which is, it's Miles. He hates it. So Sonic decides to call him Tails, and that's
Miles
how
Tails
we know
Morales.
why Tails is called Tails.
Sonic Tails, or Miles Tails Prower.
Yeah.
Tails
Miles Tails
Spider-Verse.
Morales.
Oh, okay. Okay. What if Tails was Spider-Man?
Yeah, what if?
That'd be pretty fucking cool. Is this like when Sonic remembers the whole like,
Yeah.
Tails should be with his own kind?
Yeah, he does. And then then he starts to like connect dots. He realizes, wait a minute, they said Tails. If those were his real parents, they probably would have called him Miles. Oh shit, they're fake. I better go save them.
Fuck. Yeah. And cut to Tails tied up. The
Robotnik like shows up and does a cool pose with his robot lackey. He does like this weird handshake pose thing.
I don't remember that.
But they set up a trap for Sonic with like, they've got a rug with magnets that can catch sneakers.
But
and
only
above
sneakers.
It is a crusher. Yes, specifically sneakers.
No metal, just sneakers. And then a crusher too.
Yeah. Yeah, so they've got this set up. They're going to deliver the ransom note, but then Sonic's one step ahead, and he shows up disguised as a mailman. He takes the letter, reads it. Robotnik accepts this as reality. And then Sonic just calls out Robotnik for spelling kidnapped with a C.
Kidnapped.
Robotnik says, well, when I take over the world, that's how everyone will spell it.
And everyone will spell kid with a C.
Yeah. Everyone will have children.
Everyone will have children.
Children already starts with a C, though.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, basically, what happens from here is... Basically, Sonic beats them. He does this thing where... He fights Robotnik and his lackeys. He frees Tails and, he says that if he does... There's some... I don't know what he says, but he's like, come on, you gotta help out, or I'm gonna call you Miles. And Tails agrees.
Oh no, it's not that he helps out. He wants to help out, but Sonic tells him to leave. And he's like, if you don't leave, I'll tell everyone your real name is Miles. And then, so Tails leaves, so he doesn't get, in trouble again or anything.
Yeah.
And Robotnik gets, a shoe tied to his stomach?
Yeah, so... Robotnik got, knocked into a wall, and he gets up. He pulls a full brick out of his eye.
Oh, yeah.
He starts jumping up and down angrily in a way I immediately recognized from a YouTube poop. And then Sonic ties Robotnik to the sneaker they were using to test out the sneaker-only magnet. Robotnik gets magnetized to the rug.
And he gets flattened. But it's weird, because the flattening thing does come up in a minute, but he gets flattened to the rug before that.
Yeah. Yeah, he, gets stuck to the rug so hard he goes flat.
Sonic ties, the bug parents' tails together.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back as, another mailman?
Yeah. He shows up as another mailman, and he's like, I'm the real man. The last one was an imposter. But here, Grounder, some fan mail. And Grounder's like, this letter asks, Grounder, how do you open your chest compartment? Grounder opens his chest compartment. And it's like, Grounder, can you show how the crusher works? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe they were already standing on Robotnik. I genuinely don't remember. I'm going solely off of notes here.
But they were, standing under the crusher when they pressed the button.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the crusher, crushes them. Sonic and Tails, escape.
I like that Grounder says, take a long walk off of a short pier to his fan. To his quote-unquote fan.
Mm-hmm. When we cut back to Sonic and Tails, and also, we kept forgetting to note this, but there was this, a recurring, background set, and this was this weird night zone.
Yeah.
With paths going throughout the area, and there's hills, and it very much looks like the background of a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could see that.
It does not look like they're in the same world at all.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're anywhere, huh? But Tails tells Sonic that he's his mom, he's his dad, and he's his picket fence. They're family.
Doesn't Sonic say I love you or something?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a moment earlier where Sonic didn't want to say love you back or something?
I can't remember.
Okay. But he does say it here. He's like, love you, bro.
Yeah. The episode ends, and then we get a Sonic Says. Coconuts is gonna run away from Robotnik, who treats him horribly, but Sonic tells Coconuts not to flee because he can't make it out on there.
I hate this.
Yeah.
Like, this one sucks because it's like...
Just take it.
Telling kids, like, oh, if you're being abused, don't leave. Just take it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So.
I got some questions that we answered, but in the last recording, but I don't remember what my answers were.
Yeah. Yeah, so we asked about both episodes, and most people only chose to answer about the adoption episode because how could you there are many questions that you could ask about the first one, but you wouldn't want the answers to. Yeah. So let's go with our one Twitter question first from friend of the show, Strangers Fiction co-host Violet. Would you adopt either Sonic and or Tails, assuming you had the money to support them and a place big enough to comfortably house them? You know what? Yeah.
Maybe. I just don't know how I would, like, handle kids in general, especially ones as, like, rambunctious as Sonic and Tails.
I think last time I chose... Does this, like, you get both of them or you get either or?
I don't think we answered last time because, like, Twitter was, like, going haywire at that time and we couldn't pull it up.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I would do it. You know, I don't know how good I am with kids, but if I can give them a safe place, I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, sure. If I could, I'd give it a shot.
And they seem pretty self-sufficient. Like, Sonic seems like you know what he's doing. Tails kind of hangs out with him.
But I'm still just like, he's 16 and like 8 or something.
The ages vary wildly, but it's usually like, Tails is usually like 8 to 10 years old, and Sonic's like 15 years old. But yeah, they're just little kids. They're especially Tails.
Like, even with their self-sufficiency, I'm just like, well, even if you don't want me to adopt you or whatever, you can still, like, hang out at my place.
Yeah.
If I had the money and stuff, of course.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So, with that in mind, let's go over our questions from Discord. Oh, as a reminder, listeners, you can send in a question either on Twitter in response to an Ask post, or you can answer anytime at your leisure at the Ask Zone. As a reminder, the Discord is linked in the show notes of every episode, as well as our Twitter page, which is @ShuffleSonic. Continuing on, Jasmine at Sidmon asks, if you had to write crossover fanfic of any version of Sonic, who would adopt Tails? I remember this one because I knew exactly who I wanted to adopt Tails, which is Kazuma Kiryu.
Yeah.
I feel like Devon had a good one last time.
Did I?
I think it might have been Miss Frizzle.
I thought that was you.
Maybe it was me. Well,
I
one of
think
us
that was-
came up with Miss Frizzle from Magic School Bus, and that
She would
seemed
be
like
very good, yes.
a fun answer. I think that might have been... I think that might have been your answer for the adopted by any cartoon character, and then I was like, wait, I want that one to be the Tails adoption character.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, because, I don't know, could still be, like, fun adventures, but, like, still have an adult
Present.
present, yeah.
I guess a Donald Duck in that case also. 2017 Donald.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. I haven't seen those cartoons.
But yeah, I guess we're also answering Marshmallow's question, which is, if you could be adopted by any cartoon characters, who would you pick?
Yeah, I think this is where the Miss Frizzle one came from.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wasn't
shit,
sure because I was like, I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think when I was a kid. Let's say I'm a kid and my parents are gone. Who am I getting adopted by? And I did just think of another good one, which is Mr. Ratburn.
Yeah!
Oh my god, yeah! That would be so good. Oh man, why are children's cartoons have the best fucking adults? I was also thinking this was gonna be my joke answer, because when I was like 10 to 15, when I was like 15, I would have wanted to be adopted by, like, you said Donald Duck from the 2017 show, but what about Donald Duck from Kingdom Hearts? Because I was obsessed with Kingdom Hearts.
Alright.
Donald Duck and Goofy are very
Yeah.
good parents in that
Donald
movie.
Duck and Goofy are my parents. I would have fucking
They
loved
tried
that
their with
as
their
a
son.
teen.
They take very good care of Sora.
It's true.
They try their best.
They try their fucking best.
Riku initially thought that Sora had replaced him with Donald Duck as best friend.
What about that meme with, like, friendship with Riku over, now Donald Duck is my best friend?
Yeah.
No, wait, do you know there's the one time we ever hear Sora's mom call down for dinner? What if it was just Donald Duck yelling from downstairs? There's only one time that we ever hear Sora's mom. She's like calling down for Sora to come to dinner, and what if it was just Donald Duck yelling from downstairs?
Sure. Yeah, I couldn't just say the name of the character because I kept missing everything.
He's talking about Sora's mom. Was
Sora's mom.
She only she doesn't even appear. I think she just her voice appears.
Yeah.
So he was saying that what if it was Donald Duck's voice? And I was gonna try to do a Donald Duck voice, but I cannot.
Very few people can, and that's why the one voice actor for Donald Duck has been every Donald voice for the last 20 years. 30?
What happens when he dies?
30. I guess so. You know? I'm wondering about Disney's line of succession now. But yeah, they've probably got a backup just in case. Like the Mickey and Minnie voice actors did it for a very long time.
I think they've changed, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they changed because I think those actors passed away, too.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that being said, let's see, I think, okay, we've got one more question. Well, we had two questions for Flutter Dark, but we already answered, the first one, which was, would you be the legal guardians? So, what cartoony way would you personally pick to lose a bunch of fat?
I think my answer was kind of a weird, like, sort of body horror if you think about it for too long thing, because I said, like, what if I opened a door from my, like, character's stomach and I popped out as a smaller version of myself?
That's interesting. That's really good. I guess I'm thinking like workout montage where there's like a workout there's in both the Invader Zim comics and Enter the Florpus, there's like a scene, there's this sort of introductory scene where like Dib, because it's been so long since the original TV show, Dib's just grown like fat and smelly from just constantly watching Zim on his monitors all the time. And he does like a workout sequence where he gets buff and then he's like, well, I worked out until I was buff and then I had to stop working out because I got too buff. Now I'm normal.
I never saw Enter the Florpus.
It's a good it's a pretty solid way to like readapt such an old franchise. The comics are also pretty alright, but I think they lean a bit too much into like that old style. But anyway, very pretty though. When I say pretty, just fast, well drawn, amazing to look at.
Yeah, it looks nice. But there are some extremely grotesque things in Invader Zim, but I knew what you meant. It looks good. Do you have an answer, Devon?
I think last time my answer was just the very simple Scooby-Doo chase sequence, where like I eat a lot of food and then like a spooky guy appears and then I just like run comically through like 9 doors and suddenly skinny again.
Let's see. I think that's all of the questions we had for these episodes. So
yeah.
Let's. Do you want to go with? I remember what we rolled last time, but do you want to roll for something different instead?
I don't remember what we rolled last time, so sure.
We can go with that.
Yeah, last time we rolled for Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, more of that. I could do that again unless you want to re-roll.
No, that's fine.
Alright, then next week we'll be talking about Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric. Alright. And as always, Sonic... Oh, wait.
Wait, no. You gotta do plugs.
Right, plugs. Okay. I guess I'll start off. I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and you can find all those places at linktr.ee/Mike_Dawson with a 0. From there, you can find my Twitter. You can find the other podcasts I listen to, which include Pod of Greed. We recently recorded an episode on the Dark Side of Dimensions.
That movie's so good.
Tomorrow, 2 days from this recording, we'll be talking about... we'll be doing a post-mortem of Duel Monsters, and after that, we take a week-long break, and after that, we start Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Yes! Yu-Gi-Go! Well, not Yu-Gi, but Yu-Gi-Oh! School time!
Yeah.
Get your fucking game on. Can't wait to guest.
Yeah. Let's see, tongue stuck. You can listen to Strangers Fiction, an actual play podcast focused on one-shots. We very recently recorded and uploaded an episode of The Final Bid, a game by Val Mini, aka Gnome. It's this. Our previous time we played the future dystopia version, which is the Havoc engine. This time we played the sci-fi horror mode, which is called Xenohunters. It was a really good session. I highly recommend listening in. You can listen to Disney Minus, a Disney podcast I do with Stephen, Marshmallow, and Kat. The next episode we're recording, which will be on the weekend after this recording, is The Haunted Mansion 2003, starring Eddie Murphy.
Nice.
You can also follow my art blog and my Ko-Fi, where for as little as $3, you can order a commission from me. And lastly, after all that, you can follow my comedy blog at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. And let me just check the scheduled tweets to see what will be the newest one after this episode goes up. This is great. But the most recent holiday, by the time you hear this, will be November 3rd, which is Dick Dorkin's honeyversary. The anniversary of the time Dick Dorkins had his honey confiscated from him while he was on a plane. By the TSA.
Yeah?
We are all honey. Nope. Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. I was gonna make a Dick Dorkins joke, and I fucked up. I tried my best. I guess I can plug now, unless you have.
Yeah, I'm done plugging.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, you can hear my amazing comedy on my other podcast, Departure Lounge, which is a watch podcast. I keep wanting to say rewatch. I've never seen it. My co-hosts have. It's your favorite airplane-themed Hunter x Hunter podcast, where I insist on saying the X, but only in podcast. And you can also find me on Twitter at Haunting the Morg. Haunting the MORG. That's my all-around Twitter, not just my Halloween one. That's it, I think. For now.
Yeah. Devon.
And yeah, you can find me at also a Hunter x Hunter podcast called Gone Will Hunting. This one actually is a rewatch podcast, and that one can be found at Gone Will Hunting at Twitter, and you can find me at Grooving Ghastly at Twitter. And that's all I'm on.
Is that it? Okay. And as always, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He is the only blue live that mattered. Oh, did we actually say where you could find us on Twitter?
Oh,
sorry.
We said it during Asks, but just
God.
to reiterate, you can find
cut
us
this. I'm sorry.
It's cool. You can find us at Shuffle Sonic on Twitter. From there, you can find our Discord and feel free to join our Discord or send us asks or whatever pleases you. Yeah, so with that, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He's the only blue live that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.